chosen one, listen carefully. Your struggle has not gone unnoticed. Every sleepless night, every painful setback, every moment of doubt, it was all seen, all recorded, all accounted for. And now, the message is clear. You have already won. Your victory has been sealed by God Himself. For too long, you have fought battles in silence. You have carried burdens that no one else could see. You've been misunderstood, overlooked, and even betrayed by those who were supposed to stand with you. And yet, you endured. You pressed forward even when the weight was unbearable. But the truth is, you were never fighting alone. God has been walking with you through every storm, every hardship, every dark valley. And while you were busy trying to survive, God was already preparing your victory. The world told you that you had to earn it, that you had to prove yourself worthy, that you had to struggle your way to the top. But here's the truth. The price has already been paid in full. The debt is cleared. The battle is over. But why, then, do so many of God's chosen ones still live as if they are fighting for something they already possess? Why do you still feel stuck in survival mode when you have already been crowned victorious? It's because the enemy doesn't want you to wake up to who you truly are. The moment you realize that your success, your breakthrough, and your elevation have already been secured, the chains will break, fear will dissolve, struggle will end, and you will finally step into the fullness of your destiny. You were not created to live in lack. You were not meant to scrape and beg for what is already yours. You are a child of the Most High. You are chosen. You are anointed. And now, it's time for you to claim the victory that was written in your name before time began. In this message, I am going to reveal to you why the struggles you have faced were never about breaking you. They were about preparing you. I will show you why God's divine plan for you is already unfolding, why everything you lost is about to be restored, and why your suffering was never a punishment. It was a setup for something greater. So stay with me, open your heart, because by the end of this message, you will never see your life the same way again. The war is over. You've already won. And now, it's time to walk boldly into your divine inheritance. For years, you have carried the weight of the struggle on your shoulders. You have been told that success, peace, and blessings only come through hardship and sacrifice. You have fought battles you never should have fought, chasing after things that were already destined to be yours. And yet, no matter how hard you try, it always feels like something is missing, like you're still one step away from true victory. But what if I told you that the victory is already won, that the war is already over, and that you are simply walking in the footsteps of what has already been secured for you? The world has conditioned you to believe that if you're not constantly struggling, constantly grinding, constantly proving yourself, then you don't deserve the reward. But let me ask you this: when did God ever say that your worth was tied to your effort? When did He say that your blessings were something you had to chase? The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The enemy knows that if he can keep you in a mindset of struggle, he can keep you from stepping into your divine inheritance. He knows that if you believe you always have to work harder, push further, and prove your worth, you will never take hold of the promises God has already given you. He wants you to think that you are still in the wilderness, when in reality, the promised land is already beneath your feet. Think about it: when a child of a king is born, do they have to beg for their inheritance? Do they have to fight to prove that they are worthy of their birthright? No, they are born into it. It is their identity. And as a chosen one, you were born into spiritual royalty. You were set apart before time began. You don't have to strive for favor. You don't have to hustle for blessings. You don't have to seek validation from a world that will never understand who you truly are. You only have to claim what has already been given to you. But here's the problem: the enemy doesn't want you to know that. He wants to keep you trapped in a cycle of frustration, exhaustion, and doubt. He wants to make you believe that if you're not constantly in battle, then you're doing something wrong. But that is a deception. God never called you to live in constant struggle. Yes, there are seasons of testing, seasons of refinement, and moments where faith is required. But God never meant for you to carry the weight of your destiny alone. He never meant for you to live in fear, uncertainty, or lack. Your inheritance was secured before you were even born. Your victory was already written in the heavens. And yet, how many of us continue to chase what is already ours? How many of us wake up each day believing that we still have to prove something to God? That we have to earn His love, His provision, His miracles? Let me tell you something today. You don't have to earn what has already been paid in full. It is finished. John 19:30, when Jesus spoke those words on the cross, He wasn't just talking about salvation, He was talking about the fulfillment of every promise, every blessing, every breakthrough that was meant for you. It was already sealed in the heavens. The contract was signed, the debt was cleared, and the victory was secured. So why do you still live as if you are in bondage? Why do you still walk as if you are defeated? You are not a slave to struggle. You are not a servant begging for scraps. You are a child of God, an heir to the kingdom, and your Father has already declared that you are victorious. But the final step, the only thing left for you to do is to believe it. You must break free from the illusion that you are still fighting for your place. You are already seated in heavenly places. You are already called, already chosen, already blessed. But until you recognize that truth, you will continue to live as if you are still lost. So today, I am calling you to step into your birthright. Stop striving, stop doubting, stop living in the past as if your future isn't already secured. The moment you shift your mindset from lack to abundance, from struggle to surrender, from doubt to trust, everything will change. God is waiting for you to stop chasing and start receiving. He is waiting for you to stand up, take your rightful place, and walk in the victory that has already been won for you. The doors that seemed locked will suddenly open. The blessings that felt delayed will pour into your life, and you will finally understand you were never meant to struggle for what was always yours. How many times have you felt like you weren't doing enough? Like no matter how much you pray, work, or strive, it's still not enough to get ahead. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of your past, feeling like you still need to make up for old mistakes. Maybe you've been conditioned to believe that blessings are only for those who earn them. But let me tell you this, that is a lie. You see, the enemy wants you to believe that you still have a debt to pay, that you still have to prove your worth to God. But the truth is, your debt was paid in full long before you ever took your first breath. He canceled the record of the charges against us and took it away by nailing it to the cross. Colossians 2:14, when Jesus said, "It is finished," He meant it. Not halfway done, not partially paid, completely finished. The spiritual price for your breakthrough, your healing, your financial provision, your destiny, it was all settled in full. The chains of lack and struggle were broken the moment He declared victory. But here's where many of us get stuck. We keep acting like we still owe something. Think about it like this. Imagine you were drowning in debt, struggling to make ends meet, and someone out of pure love came and paid off every single cent you owed. No conditions, no strings attached, but instead of accepting the gift, you kept living as if you were still in debt. You kept stressing over bills that no longer existed. You kept holding yourself back from opportunities because you believed you were still financially stuck. That's exactly how many chosen ones live their lives. You've been set free, but you're still living like a prisoner. You've been given victory, but you're still walking as if you're in battle. Why? Because the world has trained you to believe that nothing comes without struggle. The enemy doesn't want you to realize that you can walk in power right now, that you don't have to wait for one day to experience the fullness of God's provision. He wants to keep you in survival mode, always chasing, always seeking, never realizing that you are already standing on holy ground. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Psalm 23:1. Not I will lack nothing someday. Not if I work hard enough. I won't lack anything. No, you lack nothing right now. But the key is, you have to believe it and start living accordingly. Look around at your life. What have you been delaying because you think you're not ready? What have you been postponing because you believe you still need to earn your breakthrough? What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your next level is your mindset? Your finances, already secured. Your purpose, already written. Your destiny, already sealed. But if you keep operating from a place of fear, lack, and self-doubt, you will never step into the abundance that has already been assigned to you. You must renew your mind and let go of the false belief that you are still paying a price that has already been paid. This is why the enemy works so hard to keep chosen ones distracted, confused, and uncertain. He knows that the moment you wake up and realize that you've already won, his control over you is broken forever. He will try to make you feel unworthy. He will try to remind you of your past failures. He will try to convince you that you have to struggle a little longer. But hear me when I say this, the price has already been paid. The time of waiting is over. Right now, you have a choice. You can either continue living as if you still owe something, or you can step into the divine truth that everything you need is already yours. God is not waiting for you to prove yourself, He is waiting for you to believe. Because the moment you shift your perspective, the blessings that have been held back will come rushing in. The doors that seemed impossible to open will swing wide, and you will finally walk in the fullness of the inheritance that was always meant for you. You are not a servant trying to earn favor. You are a child of God, stepping into what has already been given. So now that you understand the price has already been paid, the real question is, why aren't you living in your inheritance? Many chosen ones are still stuck in survival mode because they've been conditioned to believe that blessings must be earned through endless struggle. But let me tell you this, your inheritance is not something you have to fight for. It is something you must step into. Think about a prince or princess born into royalty. The moment they are born, they are already heirs to the throne. They don't have to beg for their position. They don't have to prove themselves worthy. Their birthright has already secured their future. But imagine if that prince or princess refused to claim their throne, instead choosing to live as a commoner, struggling day after day because they didn't believe they were truly royalty. That's exactly what many chosen ones are doing right now. God has already declared you victorious, but if you don't believe it, if you don't claim it, if you don't walk in the authority given to you, then you will continue to live beneath your true calling. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32. Not will give you, not might give you if you work hard enough, has given you. So why are so many of God's chosen ones still struggling financially, emotionally, and spiritually? Because the enemy has convinced them to stay in a mindset of lack rather than step into a mindset of abundance. Breaking free from the scarcity mindset, the biggest weapon the enemy uses against chosen ones is the lie of scarcity. He wants you to believe there isn't enough for you. Your blessings are far away. You have to fight and struggle just to survive. You will always be behind. But let me tell you, this scarcity is an illusion. The moment you shift your mindset, the moment you begin to operate in faith instead of fear, doors will open that you never imagined. Look at the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. God had already promised them the land flowing with milk and honey. Yet many of them doubted and complained. Instead of walking into their inheritance, They wandered in the desert for 40 years, not because God was holding back, but because they refused to believe. Are you still wandering in your own wilderness? How many opportunities have passed you by because you doubted yourself? How many times has God given you the vision, but you hesitated because you didn't feel ready? How long will you allow fear to keep you from your promised land? You are already wealthy, but you must walk in it. Wealth is not just money, it's a state of being. A wealthy person walks differently. They think differently. They expect abundance, and because of that, they attract it. But a person with a poverty mindset will always repel blessings, even when God is trying to give them. It's time to shift from a survival mentality to a kingdom mentality. Stop speaking doubt over your future. Stop believing that success is only for other people. Stop playing small because you're afraid of stepping into your true calling. God has already written your victory. The only thing left for you to do is walk in it. Your faith activates your breakthrough. Your blessings are waiting for you, but they require faith to be unlocked. According to your faith, let it be done to you. Matthew 9:29. This is why so many chosen ones feel stuck. They are waiting for proof before they believe. But that's not how faith works. Faith is stepping forward before you see the evidence. Faith is claiming your breakthrough before it appears. Faith is believing the door will open before you even knock. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action, you will stay exactly where you are. God is saying, move and I will provide. Step forward and the way will be made clear. You are not meant to stay stuck. You are not meant to struggle forever. You are destined for greatness, but greatness requires boldness. Are you ready to claim what's already yours? Then it's time to take action. Your inheritance is waiting. Now that you understand your inheritance is already secured, the next step is to fully embody the person God created you to be. This is where many chosen ones struggle, not because they lack faith, but because they hesitate to step into their true power. It's one thing to know that God has already paid the price for your breakthrough. It's another thing to walk boldly in that truth every single day. Many chosen ones hold themselves back because they are afraid of outgrowing their environment. They worry about what others will think. They fear being misunderstood, losing friendships, or stepping into the unknown. But you cannot live in divine abundance while still clinging to the old version of yourself. No one puts new wine into old wineskins. Mark 2:22. If you want to receive new blessings, you must become the person who is ready to receive them. The shift from waiting to walking. Too many chosen ones are still waiting for something to happen. They pray for a breakthrough but hesitate when opportunities arise. They ask God for increase, but shrink back when responsibility comes with it. But true abundance requires you to walk in it before you fully see it. You must speak as if you are already victorious. You must act as if you are already successful. You must move as if every door is already open for you. God is not asking you to have everything figured out. He is asking you to trust Him and take the first step. Think about Peter walking on water. The moment he stepped out of the boat, he was defying everything the natural world said was possible. But the second he let fear creep in, he started sinking. The same applies to you. If you keep doubting yourself, if you keep questioning whether you are worthy of your blessings, you will always struggle. But the moment you trust, the moment you step forward with confidence, the supernatural begins to work in your favor. Letting go of the fear of success, one of the biggest things keeping chosen ones from stepping into divine abundance, is the fear of success. Yes, you heard that right. It's not just failure that people fear, it's the responsibility, the visibility, and the expectations that come with success. When God elevates you, things will change. You will no longer fit into the spaces you once did. People will start looking to you as a leader. Some will celebrate you, but others will try to pull you back into the old version of yourself. Are you ready for that? The question isn't whether God wants to bless you, the question is whether you are truly ready to receive it. Are you ready to handle the weight of your calling? Are you ready to lose people who can't handle your growth? Are you ready to break free from the comfort of mediocrity? Because the moment you say yes, things will start shifting fast. Your abundance will be a testimony, chosen ones. Your success is not just for you. Your breakthrough is meant to be a testimony to others. There are people watching you right now who don't even realize what God is about to do in your life. They have doubted you, underestimated you, and even spoken against you. But when they see what God does for you, they will have no choice but to believe. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Psalm 23:5. God is not just going to bless you, He is going to do it publicly. Your story will inspire others to step into their own calling. Your transformation will remind people that God is still working miracles. Your testimony will open doors for others who are still trapped in fear and doubt. So stop questioning whether you are ready. Stop waiting for permission. You have already been chosen. Your victory has already been won. It's time to walk in it. Chosen ones, this is your confirmation. The struggles, the tests, the setbacks, they were never meant to break you. They were designed to prepare you. Every obstacle you've faced, every tear you've shed, and every battle you've fought has led you to this moment. You don't have to keep waiting for a breakthrough. It has already been given to you. God has already paid the price. Your success, your abundance, your divine purpose, it's already yours. But now, the choice is in your hands. Will you step boldly into the life God has prepared for you? Or will you allow fear, doubt, and the opinions of others to hold you back? This is your time to rise. You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were set apart for something greater. The world may not have recognized you yet, but heaven already has. You are a child of God, anointed, appointed, and chosen for such a time as this. So walk in faith, speak with authority, move as if every door has already been opened, because in the spiritual realm, it has. Your testimony is being written, and soon, everyone who doubted you will have no choice but to see the undeniable power of God working in your life. Your victory is already won. Now, go claim it. Have you ever looked around at the people in your life and felt like you didn't belong? Like no matter how much you tried to connect, there was always an invisible barrier between you and them. If you've ever felt like the outsider, the black sheep, the one who never quite fit in, understand this: you were never meant to. From the moment you were born, you were different. Your spirit was set apart. You were chosen. And because of that, your path was never going to be like everyone else's. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. But standing out comes with a price. Rejection, betrayal, loneliness. Some of you were abandoned by your own families. Some of you were mocked for thinking differently, dreaming bigger, and questioning what others blindly accepted. The people closest to you never truly saw you, and deep down, you always knew it. But let me tell you something powerful: that loneliness wasn't a mistake, it was part of the plan. John 15:19 says, "If you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. But as it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." You were never supposed to fit in with the people around you, because you were destined for something greater. And that's separation. It was God's way of making room for something better. Your true family, the people who truly understand you, are coming. Because here's the truth: not everyone in your life was meant to stay. Some people were placed there to teach you lessons, to challenge you, and yes, even to betray you, because their rejection was the very thing that pushed you toward your divine path. But now, your time of wandering is coming to an end. You are stepping into a new season. And in this season, God is aligning you with your real family, the people who were always meant to walk this journey with you. They may not share your blood, but they share your spirit. They see your light. They recognize your purpose. And most importantly, they will help guide you back to your true destiny. So if you've been feeling lost, if you've been questioning why you've had to walk this road alone for so long, know this: you were never truly alone. God was preparing you, and now your real family, the ones who will help you step fully into your calling, is about to arrive. Are you ready to receive them? Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you tried, you could never fully connect with your family? Why the people who were supposed to love and support you always made you feel like an outsider? It wasn't because you were flawed. It wasn't because you were unworthy. It was because you were set apart. From the moment you were born, your spirit carried something different. You had wisdom beyond your years. You had dreams too big for your surroundings. You had an energy that others could not understand. And because of that, instead of embracing you, many people, sometimes even your own family, feared you, resented you, or rejected you. Think back to your childhood. Did you ever feel like you were speaking a language that no one else could understand? You may have asked deep questions that made others uncomfortable. You may have challenged traditions that didn't make sense to you, while others were content with the way things were. You felt something stirring inside you, and knowing that there was more. But when you tried to express that, you were shut down, dismissed, or even ridiculed. Maybe you had family members who constantly criticized you, who tried to make you feel small, who belittled your vision. Maybe you were the scapegoat, the one blamed for everything, even when it wasn't your fault. Maybe you felt invisible, like no one ever truly saw you for who you were. And the hardest part? Some of the people who rejected you the most were the ones you loved the most. But hear me, none of this was by accident. God did not make a mistake in placing you in the family you were born into. He knew exactly what He was doing. The rejection, the misunderstandings, the loneliness, it was all part of your training. Because in order to step into your divine purpose, you had to be refined. You had to be strengthened. You had to learn who you were without the validation of others. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He had a dream, a vision from God, and instead of being celebrated, his own brothers hated him for it. They were jealous. They resented his calling. They wanted to destroy him. So they threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery, and tried to erase his destiny. But what they meant for harm, God used for good. If Joseph had stayed with his brothers, he would have never stepped into his true power. If he had remained in the place where he was not valued, he would have never become the ruler God destined him to be. And the same is true for you. The reason you never fit in with your biological family is because you were never meant to stay in the same cycles they lived in. You were never meant to think the way they thought, to settle for the life they settled for. You were meant to break generational curses. You were meant to rise higher. You were meant to step into something greater. John 1:11 says, "He came unto his own, and his own received him not." Even Jesus himself was rejected by his own people. So why would it be any different for you? But here's the truth that will set you free. Their rejection was God's redirection. If they had accepted you, you might have become too comfortable. If they had validated you, you might have stayed in a place that was never meant for you. God had to allow the rejection because He knew it would push you towards something greater. And here's the most powerful part. You are not alone. There are countless others like you, chosen ones who have walked the same path, who have experienced the same pain, who have faced the same trials. And now, in this season, God is bringing you together. Your true family, the ones who will see you, uplift you, and walk with you into your divine purpose, is on their way. So do not mourn what was lost. Do not chase after those who could not see your worth. What is ahead of you is far greater than anything you left behind. Can you feel it? A shift is happening, and soon you will see why everything had to happen exactly as it did. For so long, you have walked this road alone. You have faced battles with no one to support you, carried burdens that no one else understood, and endured struggles that seemed never-ending. You've prayed, cried, and wondered, why do I always have to do this by myself? But listen carefully, your time of isolation is coming to an end. You see, God has always had a plan for you. He was never going to let you walk this path forever in solitude. He was preparing you, strengthening you, teaching you how to rely on Him alone. And now, because you have been faithful, because you have endured, because you have not given up, your real family is on their way. But this won't be the kind of family you've known before. This isn't about blood. This isn't about who shares your last name. This is about spiritual connection, about divine alignment. Your real family are the ones who see you for who you truly are. They recognize your spirit. They understand your journey. They don't ask you to shrink yourself, to dim your light, or to change who you are just to make them comfortable. Instead, they encourage you to step fully into your power. These are the people who will uplift you when you're weary, who will remind you of your purpose when you start to doubt, who will walk beside you as you step into the destiny God has prepared for you. Jesus spoke about this very thing in Matthew 12:48-50, when people told him that his mother and brothers were outside, looking for him. He said, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" Then he pointed to his disciples and said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Do you see what he was saying? Your real family isn't determined by blood. It's determined by spirit. And that is why God has been removing certain people from your life. Some of you have lost relationships, walked away from friendships, or been separated from those you once thought would be with you forever. And at the time, it hurt. It felt like loss. But it wasn't loss, it was alignment. God was making room. He was clearing out the people who could not go where He is taking you. Because the truth is, not everyone in your life was meant to stay. Some people were seasonal. Some were placed in your life to teach you lessons, to challenge you, and yes, even to betray you, because their rejection pushed you closer to God. But now, you are entering a new season. A season where you will no longer walk alone. A season where you will finally be surrounded by those who understand your journey. And when you meet them, something inside you will just know. There won't be any pretending. No more forcing connections that don't feel right. With them, you will feel at home. So be ready, stay open, keep walking forward. Your true family is closer than you think. And when they arrive, you will understand why God had to separate you from the wrong people, because He was preparing you for the right ones. Now that you understand why you never fit in and why certain people had to leave your life, the next step is embracing the new season ahead. Because this is not just about finding your real family, it's about stepping into the destiny that was written for you before time began. For so long, you have fought battles on your own. You've carried your dreams, your pain, and your purpose in silence. You've tried to explain your vision to people who couldn't see it. And you've tried to bring others along on your journey, only to realize they were never meant to go with you. But now, everything is shifting. God is placing people in your life who will not only see your potential, but will help activate it. People who won't be threatened by your greatness, but will encourage it. People who will pray for you, speak life over you, and help you stay strong when the enemy tries to break you down. Because make no mistake, the closer you get to your purpose, the more the enemy will try to stop you. He will send distractions, delays, and even deceivers. People who seem supportive on the surface, but whose true mission is to lead you astray. That's why discernment is so important in this season. Not everyone who smiles at you is for you. Not everyone who claps for you wants to see you win. But here's the good news: God will reveal the truth. That's why you went through so much isolation, because you had to learn how to hear His voice above all others. Now, as your real family arrives, you will recognize them. Your spirit will resonate with theirs. There will be no doubt, no confusion, only clarity, and together, you will rise. Because when chosen ones unite, the power that is released is undeniable. Chains break, generational curses end, purpose is fulfilled. This is why the enemy tried so hard to isolate you. This is why you had to experience betrayal and rejection. Because if you had stayed where you were, surrounded by the wrong people, your power would have been diminished. You would have spent your life trying to fit in, rather than standing out the way you were meant to. But now, you are walking fully into your divine assignment. So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Don't let fear hold you back. You were born for this. You have been prepared for this moment. And now, as you walk forward, surrounded by the right people, aligned with the right purpose, nothing will stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. This is your time. Step boldly into it. You've walked through the fire. You've endured the storms. You've stood alone, questioning why your journey was filled with so much struggle and isolation. But now, the truth is clear: you were never meant to fit in, because you were always meant to lead. This is the season where you must fully embrace your calling. No more doubting yourself. No more second-guessing your purpose. No more looking back, wondering if you should return to the places and people that could never see your worth. The past is gone. The old version of you no longer exists. The world is shifting, and God's chosen ones are rising. That includes you. You are being positioned, elevated, and aligned with others who carry the same divine fire within them. You are stepping into your role as a leader, a healer, a guide for others who are lost. But remember, this is not just about you. God didn't set you apart only for your own growth. He set you apart so that you could help awaken others. Your story, your struggles, your pain, it all serves a greater purpose. There are people out there right now who are where you once were, lost, alone, confused, feeling like they don't belong. And they need you. They need to hear your voice. They need to see your strength. They need to know that if you made it through, they can too. This is why God has brought your true spiritual family into your life, so you don't have to carry this mission alone. Together, you will build, inspire, and create. Together, you will break cycles, tear down strongholds, and bring light into places that have been trapped in darkness. So now the choice is yours. Will you step fully into your divine assignment? Will you embrace the people God has sent into your life? Will you let go of everything that no longer serves your higher purpose? This is your confirmation. You are ready. The time is now. No more fear, no more hesitation. The journey you have been preparing for your whole life begins today. Walk boldly into your destiny. Your true family is waiting. You have felt the weight of isolation, the sting of rejection, and the confusion of not belonging. But now, you see the truth. It was all part of the divine plan. You were never lost. You were being set apart. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared. And now, the time has come for you to step fully into who you were always meant to be. Your real family, your spiritual family is here. The ones who understand you without explanation, who see your spirit before they see your appearance, who uplift and strengthen you rather than drain and diminish you. These are the people God has aligned for your journey. And now that they are arriving, you must embrace them with open arms. But remember, this is just the beginning. Finding your true family is not the destination, it is the foundation upon which your destiny will be. Built now, more than ever, you must move with wisdom, discernment, and courage, because the world needs you. You were not chosen to sit on the sidelines. You were not set apart to remain silent. You have a mission, a calling, a divine purpose that must be fulfilled. The battles you've faced were never meant to break you, they were meant to make you unstoppable. So now, stand tall, walk forward, step into your destiny without fear, because this is your time. Your true family has arrived, your purpose is waiting, and the world is ready for the light only you can bring. Have you ever felt like you're different? Like you were meant for something bigger? Chosen before you even took your first breath? What if I told you that feeling isn't just in your head? That it's a whisper from eternity? A sign you might be one of the chosen ones, handpicked by God before you were born? If that's hitting you right now, if your spirit's stirring just a little, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because in this video, we're diving into something incredible. 7 spiritual clues that reveal you were chosen before birth, set apart for a purpose that's been waiting for you since before time began. This isn't about chance, it's about destiny, and it's about you. I've spent years digging into scripture, reflecting on my own life, and talking to others who've felt the same pull. The sense that they're not just here by accident. The Bible backs it up. Jeremiah 1-5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I set you apart." That's God Himself talking. And it's not just for prophets. It's for His chosen ones, people like you and me who've been marked for something special. Maybe you've wondered why you feel out of place, why you've faced things others don't, why you've got this hunger deep inside that won't let go. That's what we're unpacking today. 7 clues that point to your pre-birth calling, why they matter, and how they can change everything about how you see your life. So here's what's coming. We're going to explore these 7 spiritual signs, rooted in God's Word and real-life experiences, to help you recognize if you're one of the chosen ones. Then we'll talk about how to step into that calling with confidence. This isn't just a feel-good list. It's a roadmap to understanding who you really are and why you're here. Right now, in this moment, before we get started, I want to hear from you. If you've ever felt set apart, like you're meant for more, drop chosen in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and I'd love to connect with you on this journey. If this idea that you were chosen before birth lights something up in you, hit that like button. It's your way of saying yes to this truth, and it helps spread this message to more chosen ones out there. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell. We've got so much more to uncover about your divine purpose. All right, let's dive in. Your 7 clues are waiting. Okay, we've kicked things off with this big idea that you might be one of the chosen ones, picked out by God before you were even born. And now it's time to unpack what that really means. Because this isn't just a cool thought to toss around. It's a truth that changes everything about who you are and why you're here. So let's dig in and get a clear picture of what it means to be chosen before birth. Because once you grasp this, those 7 clues we're about to explore are going to hit you on a whole new level. This is where it starts to get real. So stay with me. First off, being a chosen one means you're someone God selected, handpicked, before your life even began, for a purpose that's uniquely yours. It's not random. It's not an afterthought. It's a deliberate act of divine will. The Bible lays it out so beautifully in Jeremiah 1-5. "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." That's God speaking to Jeremiah. But it's not just for him. It's a glimpse into how God works with His chosen ones. Psalm 139:16 doubles down on this. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be, before your heart started beating, before your mom even knew you were coming. God knew you. He saw you, and He had a plan for you. That's what it means. You're not a product of chance. You're a piece of eternity, chosen before the world got its hands on you. Now, why does that matter? Because being chosen before birth isn't just about some cosmic pat on the back. It's about a calling that sets you apart from the ordinary. It's like God looked across time, before the stars were lit, and said, "That one's mine. I've got something special for them." It's a divine stamp on your soul that says you're here for more than just going through the motions. You've got a role in His bigger story. Maybe it's to bring light where there's darkness, to speak truth where there's lies, or to love in ways that change lives. Whatever it is, it's yours, written into your very being before you ever showed up. And here's the thing. This isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about being set apart for something God needs done, something only you can do in your way. And I know some of you are already nodding, because you've felt this, haven't you? That quiet nudge, that feeling like you don't quite fit, like there's a deeper reason you're here. Even if you can't name it yet, maybe you've always sensed there's more to life. Or you've gone through things that don't make sense unless there's a purpose behind them. That's not coincidence. That's the echo of your pre-birth calling ringing through your life. I've felt it too. Growing up, I'd wonder why I didn't blend in, why I cared so much about things others shrugged off, until I realized it's because God had His eye on me before I was me. And I've seen it in others. People who couldn't explain why they kept pushing forward when everything said give up. It's because they were chosen, set apart before birth. So what's coming next is huge. These 7 spiritual clues we're about to dive into, they're not just random signs. They're whispers from eternity. Threads woven into your life to show you God's been planning this all along. They're the evidence, the markers that you were chosen before you were born. And they're going to light up everything you felt deep down. Before we get there, take a second. Have you ever wondered why you're wired the way you are? Why you feel that pull? That's God tugging at your spirit, pointing you back to what He set in motion before your first day. Let's keep going. Those clues are waiting, and they're about to open your eyes. All right. We've set the stage. We know what it means to be chosen before birth. That God had His eye on you before your first heartbeat. And now it's time to get to the good stuff. The 7 spiritual clues that show you were picked out for a divine purpose before you were even born. These aren't just random feelings or quirks. They're signs, threads woven into your life by God Himself, whispering that you're one of His chosen ones. I'm going to break each one down with scripture, some real-life examples, and a little nudge for you to look at your own story. Because this is where it gets personal. So let's dive into clue number 1. Here we go. Clue number 1. An unexplainable sense of purpose. The first clue is an unexplainable sense of purpose, that deep, nagging feeling that you're meant for something bigger, even if you can't put your finger on it yet. It's like there's a compass in your soul pointing you somewhere, even when the map's blurry. Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." That's God saying He wrote your purpose before you existed. And this clue is that purpose bubbling up inside you. I've felt this my whole life. As a kid, I'd sit and dream about changing things, helping people, not knowing how, but knowing it was there. I've seen it in others too. A friend who kept pushing through school, broke and tired because she just knew she was meant to teach. And now she's impacting kids every day. That's not random ambition. That's a pre-birth calling tugging at you. So think about it. Have you ever felt that pull, that sense there's more to your life? Maybe even since you were little. That's clue number 1. God's fingerprint on your soul from before you were born. Clue number 2. Heightened spiritual sensitivity. Clue number 2 is heightened spiritual sensitivity, a natural knack for picking up on things beyond the physical, like dreams that feel too real, gut feelings that guide you, or a connection to God that's just there. John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." If you're a chosen one, you've got ears tuned to His frequency. Set before birth. For me, it's been dreams. I'd wake up from ones that felt like messages. Once dreaming a friend was in trouble. Called her, and she was. It's spooky until you see it's God. I know someone who'd get these instincts. Like avoiding a road that later had an accident. She calls it her God nudge, that sensitivity. It's not weird. It's a gift, a sign you were wired for the spiritual before you got here. Have you ever had a moment, a dream, a feeling, where you just knew something deeper was at play? That's clue number 2. Your pre-birth connection to the divine shining through. Clue number 3. Trials that shape you. Clue number 3 is trials that shape you. Those hard moments. Struggles that don't just break you down but build you up. Like they're custom-made to prepare you. Romans 8:28 says, "We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Those trials, they're not random. They're God's training ground for your calling. I've been through it. Losing a job I thought I'd keep forever. But that pushed me to trust God more. And it led me here. Talking to you. I've seen it too. A woman who lost her home, thought it was the end. But it taught her resilience. Now she helps others rebuild. If your struggles feel bigger, tougher, like they're forging something in you. That's clue number 3. God's been shaping you since before birth for what's ahead. What's a trial you've faced that made you stronger? Not weaker, that's Him at work. Clue number 4. A feeling of not belonging. Clue number 4 is a feeling of not belonging. That sense you're an outsider, like you don't quite fit in with the crowd, even when you try. John 15:19 says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of it." That's Jesus Himself saying you're different because you're His, chosen before you landed here. I've felt this forever. Growing up, I'd watch people chase things that never clicked for me. Parties, trends, I'd rather be alone thinking about life. A friend of mine felt it too, always the odd one out, until he found his place serving at church, where he fit perfectly. That not belonging, it's not a flaw. It's a sign you were set apart before birth. Do you ever feel like a stranger in this world? Like home somewhere else? That's clue number 4. Your pre-birth mark of being God's own. Clue number 5. A natural pull to help others. Clue number 5 is a natural pull to help others. This deep, almost automatic urge to lift people up, guide them, even when it costs you something. Galatians 5:13 says, "Serve one another humbly in love." And if you're a chosen one, that's baked into you from the start. I've seen it in myself. Dropping plans to sit with a friend who's hurting. Not because I had to, but because I couldn't not do it. I know a lady who'd stop for every homeless person. Give what she had. Said it felt like breathing. Now she runs an outreach program. That pull, it's not just kindness. It's a pre-birth calling to be God's hands. Do you feel that tug? To help, to care, even when it's inconvenient. That's clue number 5. Your chosen heart showing through. Clue number 6. Recurring divine encounters. Clue number 6 is recurring divine encounters. Those moments where God keeps showing up. Signs, coincidences, little miracles that pile up. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Those aren't accidents. They're God confirming your path from before birth. For me, it's been people. I'd meet someone just when I needed them. Like a mentor appearing right as I hit a wall. A guy I know kept finding Bibles, random places, each time he was doubting. It pulled him back. These encounters, They're God's way of saying, I chose you then. I'm with you now. Have you noticed those moments where it's too perfect to be chance? That's clue number 6, your pre-birth destiny breaking into today. Clue number 7, a deep hunger for truth. And clue number 7 is a deep hunger for truth. This burning need to dig into spiritual wisdom, to understand God, life, everything beyond the surface. Matthew 5-6 says, Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. That hunger, it's a mark of your calling. I've always had it. Reading late, asking questions, chasing God's heart. I've met others like that. A woman who'd study scripture for hours, said it felt like food. Now she teaches it. If you can't settle for shallow, if you crave the real stuff, that's clue number 7. God lit that fire in you before you were born. Do you feel that ache for truth? Like nothing else satisfies? That's Him calling you back to your purpose. Okay, we've just walked through those 7 spiritual clues. An unexplainable sense of purpose, heightened spiritual sensitivity, trials that shape you, a feeling of not belonging, a natural pull to help others, recurring divine encounters, and a deep hunger for truth. And if any of those hit home, you're starting to see it. You were chosen before birth, set apart by God for something incredible. But here's the thing. Knowing these clues isn't enough. It's what you do with them that brings this calling to life. So in this section, I'm giving you 3 practical steps to embrace your pre-birth calling, to step into it with confidence and purpose. These are rooted in Scripture, tied to everything we've uncovered, and they're your way to live out who God made you to be. Starting right now, let's dive in. This is how you say yes to what He chose you for. Step number 1, seek clarity through prayer and reflection. The first step is to seek clarity through prayer and reflection, because if you were chosen before birth, you've got to ask God to show you what that looks like. James 1-5 says, If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. He's the one who wrote your purpose. So go straight to Him. Here's how. Every day, take 5 minutes. Find a quiet spot and pray. Lord, show me why you chose me. What's my calling? Then listen. Really listen. Maybe sit in silence or jot down what comes to your heart. I started doing this, feeling lost about my path, and over time, I'd get these nudges, like to share encouragement, and it led me here. A friend of mine prayed this and kept seeing kids in her mind. She's a mentor now. It clicked. Those clues, your purpose, your sensitivity, they'll start making sense when you ask. So try it today. Pray that prayer. Reflect on those clues we talked about, and let God paint the picture He's had since before you were born. Step number 2. Trust the process of your trials. Step 2 is to trust the process of your trials, because if those hardships are shaping you, like clue 3 showed, they're not here to break you. They're here to prepare you. 1 Peter 1-7 says, These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Those struggles, they're God's refinery, getting you ready for your calling. So here's what you do. Grab a piece of paper. List 1 or 2 trials you've faced, maybe a loss, a rejection, and write down how they've made you stronger, braver, wiser. I did this after a tough breakup. Saw how it taught me to lean on God, and that strength's carried me through everything since. I know someone who lost a job, wrote it out, realized it built her grit. Now she's unstoppable in her ministry. Trusting the process means seeing those trials as part of your pre-birth plan, not accidents. Do it this week. Look back. Trust He's been working it for good since the beginning. Step number 3. Step into your purpose boldly. And step 3 is to step into your purpose boldly. Because if you've got this calling, like all these clues point to, God's waiting for you to move, not shrink back. Hebrews 11:6 says, Without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. Faith means action. So here's how. Take one small step this week toward what those clues are showing you. Maybe your pull to help others. Go encourage someone. Or your hunger for truth. Dig into a Bible chapter. I was scared to speak up, but I shared a kind word with a stranger once, and it snowballed into this. Talking to you. A guy I know felt that not belonging. Started a small prayer group. Now it's a lifeline for people. Your purpose isn't meant to sit dormant. It's pre-birth. It's alive. So step out, even if it's shaky. Pick one thing today. Act on it, and watch God meet you there. He's been waiting since before you were born. Wow, we've been on quite a journey together, haven't we? Let's bring it all home and light up your spirit with what we've uncovered. We started with this big truth. You might be one of the chosen ones, handpicked by God before you were born. And we explored what that means. A divine calling set in place before your first breath. Then we dove into those 7 spiritual clues, an unexplainable sense of purpose, heightened spiritual sensitivity, trials that shape you, a feeling of not belonging, a natural pull to help others, recurring divine encounters, and a deep hunger for truth, signs that God's been whispering your destiny all along. And we wrapped it up with how to embrace it. Seeking clarity through prayer, trusting the process of your trials, and stepping into your purpose boldly. This isn't just a list. It's proof you were chosen before birth, and it's time to live it out. Here's what I want you to hold on to. Your life's no accident. Those feelings, those struggles, that ache for something more. They're not random. They're God's fingerprints from before you were formed. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out, to shine His light, to fulfill a purpose He dreamed up before the world began. I've seen it happen. People like you waking up to this. A woman I know felt that not belonging forever, started praying those steps, and now she's leading others to faith, living her calling. That's waiting for you too. The moment you say yes to these clues, God starts moving in ways you can't imagine, because He's been ready since the beginning. So here's my challenge. Don't let this slip away. Take it and run with it today. Pick one step. Maybe pray, Lord, show me, list a trial and trust it, or take that bold move toward your purpose. Do it now, because this is your moment. Chosen one, you were made for this. Before birth, before time, and the world needs what you've got. I believe in you. God believes in you. He wouldn't have chosen you if you weren't ready to rise. Before we close, let's make this a family thing. I want to hear from you. Which clue hit you the hardest? Was it the purpose, the sensitivity, the trials, or one of the others? Drop it in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and I'd love to pray with you as you step into this. If this truth, that you were chosen before birth, sets your heart on fire, hit that like button right now. It's your way of saying yes, God, and it helps this reach more chosen ones out there. Subscribe and tap that bell. We've got so much more to explore about your divine path, and I want you with me. Check out the end screen for 144,000 chosen ones. It's a perfect next step to keep this going. Let's end with Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. You're His masterpiece, chosen before birth. Shine bright. I'll see you in the next one.